Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today at Travel Week webinars. We're very excited to have you here. You know, it's a trying time for our industry, but it's so important to keep learning and learning about the destinations that we will be able to go to again one day very soon. Today, we're going to hear about Malaysia, a very exotic and fun destination that I've actually been to several times, and it's fabulous. Just a little bit of housekeeping. We're going to save questions until the end. So if you have any questions, put it in the Q&A box and I will definitely get to it. If you have any technical difficulties, that is what you're going to put in the chat box and my production team will help you. And we do have fabulous, fabulous prizes today, but it's for the agents that stay till the end. There's two $100 Amazon gift cards up for grab and also two $50 Amazon gift cards up for grab. So pretty good odds, and who can't use the Amazon gift card right about now? So without further ado, I am going to introduce Sandra Fonesca. Sorry, did I pronounce that right?
Fonseca, close.
Close. Okay, I really tried. And she is the marketing officer for Tourism Malaysia. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. So yes, my name is Sandra, and I'm the marketing officer at the Tourism Malaysia Vancouver office. A huge thank you to all of you for joining our Book Now, Travel Later, Malaysia Awaits You webinar. That phrase has been our mantra since the start of the pandemic, as we truly cannot wait till we can welcome Canadians to Malaysia once again. So let's get started. I'm going to share my screen right now. So, where in heavens is Malaysia? Well, Malaysia is located right in the heart of Southeast Asia. We're surrounded by some amazing Southeast Asian neighbors, and I'll tell you why they're so amazing later on. We have a population of about 31 million, very close to Canada's 37 million. But guess what? Canada is like 30 times larger than Malaysia is. So 30 times. We fit into Canada 30 times. Our beloved capital city, of course, Kuala Lumpur. Many of you might not know, but Malaysia is divided into two parts: Peninsula Malaysia, which is directly south of Thailand and north of Singapore, and Borneo, Malaysia. And on the island of Borneo, we actually take up the best of Borneo in the way of Sabah and Sarawak, the north and northwest parts of Borneo. And we share borders with Brunei, where the richest man in the world lives, and Kalimantan, which belongs to Indonesia. Quick facts about Malaysia. Average temperatures of about 25 to 35 degrees. We have summer all year round. Two seasons, a wet season and a dry season. The wet season runs from mid-November through mid-February, but only affects the east coast of Peninsula Malaysia and the east coast of Borneo, Malaysia. So the rest of Malaysia is fine. So we'd like to think of Malaysia as an all year round destination. Our language, Bahasa Malaysia, very much like Indonesian, we understand each other. English is spoken widely. Now, when I say English is spoken widely, I mean that it is a compulsory subject in all national schools. So you'll find that English is the norm everywhere you go, and you'll find that English is spoken at different levels throughout the country. Time difference, 12 and 15 hours ahead of EST and PST respectively. Canadians do not need a visa. You can stay up to 3 months without a visa. Just make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months. There are no direct flights to Malaysia from Canada, but these are the various airlines that will get you to Malaysia via hubs in Asia. Now, accessibility within Malaysia. Now, there are three hubs in Malaysia, three major hubs in Malaysia: Kuala Lumpur, our capital city, then there's Penang on the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia, and Kota Kinabalu in Sabah, Malaysia, and Borneo. But most of the flights, like over 90% of the flights, will come into Kuala Lumpur. So you will arrive at the Kuala Lumpur International Airport, KLIA, and the fastest way to get into the city would be the KLIA Express. It's an express train. It takes about 28 minutes, as opposed to going by road where it might take a couple of hours because of traffic. And it costs about 31 Canadian. So really, really affordable and quick. It will bring you to a place called KL Central. KL Central is the main station where you can catch your various sky trains to different parts of Kuala Lumpur in and around KL, as well as the main train systems that will connect you throughout the Peninsula Malaysia. The main rail operator in Peninsula Malaysia is KTM Malaysia Berhad, or in English, Malaysian Railways Limited. There are three main railway lines. The West Coast Line, which runs along the west coast of Peninsula Malaysia from Kuala Lumpur right through Singapore, and also from Kuala Lumpur right through to the up north into Thailand. And then there's the East Coast train, or we call it the Jungle Train, which I will tell you about later on. It runs from, it connects the West Coast to the East Coast of Peninsula Malaysia. And then there are branch lines, which are the intercity trains that will get you from one state to another. Very, very affordable. And if you want to know more, you can log on to www.ktmb.com.my. Now, by road, Malaysia has some amazing roads, and it's not just because I say so. Malaysia is one of the top producers of rubber in the world, and of course, everybody knows that the main ingredient in making good roads is bitumen. That is, a byproduct of rubber. So there you go. Our quality roads, all the signs are in English and Malay. So, you very easy to understand, easy to drive. I do not recommend driving in the city. I've born and bred in Malaysia, and I always avoid, driving in the city. I always jump on a sky train, which is so easy. And besides, we have a Canadian connection there. Most of our the SkyTrain systems actually were built by Bombardier of Canada. So there you go. Now, besides by road, now the best way to get to know the city, I'll always say, is to jump on the hop-on, hop-off bus. Now, every major city around the world has a hop-on, hop-off bus. Now, in Kuala Lumpur, we also have one of these in Penang, but in Kuala Lumpur, it's like I said, one of the best ways to get around. They have a 2-day pass and a 1-day pass. The 2-day pass costs some $23 Canadian, and the 1-day pass costs $17. The buses will be at designated stops in and around Kuala Lumpur in 20-minute intervals daily between 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. every day. Has a total of about 23 designated stops and spans over 40 attractions throughout Kuala Lumpur and in and around the city. What I would do is buy a 2-day pass, 23 Canadian, right? Use the first day to kind of scope out your attractions, and use the second day, use it for transportation. So why Malaysia? Well, let's start with the basics. Besides your value for the dollar, I mean, 1 Canadian is about 3.1 Malaysian ringgit. It's 3 times your dollar. But what does it mean to your wallet? Well, 10 Canadian will get you 3 good meals a day. And when I say 3 good meals, I don't mean like coffee and toast. I mean, a real good meal that is, real sustenance, right? It's one of the safest places in the world to visit. And of course, you'll be spoiled for choice in the way of things to see, do, and experience. And these 3 reasons are why we've made Lonely Planet's top 10 destinations to visit repeatedly. So why Malaysia again? Well, Malaysia positions itself as the cultural and eco-adventure hub of Asia. Why? Because we give you cultural diversity and we give you biodiversity. Why cultural diversity? Well, Malaysia is home to Asia's 3 main races, the Malays, the Chinese, the Indians, over 20 indigenous races. Plus, back in the day, everybody wanted a piece of Malaysia. I mean, we were occupied by the Portuguese and then by the Dutch. And finally, we were colonized by the British, and you'll see traces of these throughout the country. And I mentioned location. We're located right in the heart of Southeast Asia, and we have really benefited from the influences of all our Southeast Asian neighbors. And when I say influences, I don't mean like your corner Thai restaurant. I mean, we have a lot of that in Canada as well. One good example is Penang. Penang is an island off of the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia, where on one street, you will find a Thai Buddhist temple and a Burmese Buddhist temple facing each other. On the one side, everybody's Thai. On the other side, everybody's Burmese, and it's right there in Malaysia. Another example is in Malacca. Malacca is a little state 2 hours south of Kuala Lumpur. It's where our history began. We actually have a thriving Portuguese settlement right in Malacca, where you can actually go on weekends and enjoy Portuguese food and cultural dances and what have you. And because of this crazy, amazing diversity, we say Malaysia is truly Asia. Okay. Now, with so many cultures comes food, food, and more food. Besides your Malay, your Chinese, and your Indian food, there are the fusion numbers, like your Malay Chinese, which is the baba nyonya or the Peranakan food. And then there's the Malay Indian, which we call the mama food. And then there's your Portuguese food and your Eurasian food. The combinations are endless. They say if you have a Malaysian meal every day, it would take you a whole year before you have to repeat a dish. Never run out of choices. And of course, if you get fed up of Malaysian food, there's always your KFC, your McDonald's, Starbucks. They're rampant throughout Malaysia. And we know that, you know, we take pride in doing food well, including Western food. Now, the Shangri-La in Kuala Lumpur has a French restaurant called Lafitte, and it was named by Condé Nast Traveler the best French restaurant in the world. Crazy, huh? Now, food is also a way of showing our hospitality. So if you meet a Malaysian for the first time and they don't say, hey, how are you? They might instead say, hey, are you hungry? Or hey, would you like to have a meal with me? So meeting a Malaysian for the first time and having them invite you home to their home and meet their family and share a meal with you is something really quite common. Now, being home to so many cultures means also festivals throughout the year. Now, Malaysia has a public holiday in respect of each and every one of her major races, starting from Hari Raya Aidil Fitri, which marks the completion of the 1 month long fasting period of Ramadan. And then there's Chinese New Year, the first day of the lunar calendar, celebrated by Malaysian Chinese, and it's coming up on the 12th of this month. Then there's Hindu Festival of Lights, Diwali, celebrated by Malaysian Hindus. And we just recently also celebrated Thaipusam, also by Malaysian Hindus, on the 28th of January. And then there's the Harvest Festivals of Sabah and Sarawak in the way of Keamatan and GOWAY, respectively. Now, besides cultural diversity, Malaysia also brings you biodiversity both on land and in water. Now, in the water, we are so lucky to be located right within the Coral Triangle. This is the world's Coral Triangle. And what does this mean? Well, it means that Malaysia is home to one of the most biodiverse marine ecosystems in the world. But how, again, does this benefit the traveler? Well, if you have clients who want to go diving, snorkeling, or want to get into any kind of beach activities, please think of Malaysia. They will not regret it. Malaysia also brings you biodiversity on land. We are so blessed to be included as one of only 12 mega biodiverse countries in the world. We are home to the oldest rainforest in the world. It is 130 million years old, with flora and fauna yet unnamed. I mean, it sounds really cliched, but crazy. I mean, 10 square kilometers of Malaysian rainforest has more flora and fauna than the whole of North America and Europe combined. 130 million years old. I just read an article on the Malaysian rainforest, and the writer makes a reference to dinosaurs, roaming the earth some 60 million years ago. Well, our rainforest is older than that. And just the thought of dinosaurs traversing the Malaysian rainforest just blows my mind. But again, how does this translate to travel? Well, travelers can go hiking or jungle trekking and come across the largest flower in the world in the way of the Rafflesia. The largest one is said to span some 5 feet in diameter, blooms just once a year, and apparently when it blooms, smells like a rotting corpse, and yet every single picture I've seen of a Rafflesia has somebody's face right up to it. Selfie moment, right? You can also, take a river safari through our rainforest and continue your hike and come across this little guy. This is the cute orangutan that everybody loves. Now you can see him in his natural surroundings, during a river safari or during a trek through the Malaysian rainforest. or you can see him in, in the various rehabilitation centers throughout the country. But nothing like seeing them in their natural surroundings. It's such a wonderful experience, both for you and for them as well, because they will be in their element. Oh, picture my husband. Oh, well, this guy, be still my heart, this handsome devil is the stud of the Malaysian Borneo rainforest. Apparently, in the world of proboscis monkeys, the larger the nose, the more handsome the ladies think you are. So the dominant male has, of course, the largest nose, and at any given time, he has 20 females, a minimum of 20 females in his harem. And during your river safari through our rainforest, you may also encounter these guys, the pygmy elephants of Malaysia. Now, you know how people refer to their little dogs as their forever puppies? Well, these are our forever baby elephants. The full-grown adults are very much smaller than the regular elephants, and they all have baby faces, extremely adorable. So up till now, you know that Malaysia gives you cultural diversity and biodiversity, but what else can we give you? Well, we will give you more than 4,600 kilometers of coastline and 878 islands, many still uninhabited, complete with white sandy beaches and warm, warm, crystal clear water you can bask in for hours. Now, I can't stress the word warm enough. I've taken many travel agents and writers back to Malaysia on fam trips. And, whenever the agents hit the water, they're in shock because, if you try hitting the water in the ocean here in Canada, I mean, even in the dead of summer, even in the height of summer, it's still extremely cold. But in Malaysia, the water feels like bath water. It's warm, it's comfortable, you can stay there forever. We will give you a huge array of outdoor adventures, from jungle trekking to whitewater rafting to mountain climbing to zip lining. Rest assured that if it's in tropical weather and outdoorsy, Malaysia will have it. For travelers in search of UNESCO World Heritage Sites, Malaysia has 4, Georgetown and Malacca, for their cultural diversity and heritage and the preservation of history, Kinabalu Park and Mulu National Parks in Sabah and Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo, for their pristine biodiversity and amazing natural landscapes, and Lenggong Valley in Perak on the Malaysian Peninsula for its contribution towards priceless archaeological finds. Malaysia is also one of the world's leaders in conservation and sustainability. And Canadians are great. They love it when they know they're somehow giving back to Mother Nature, giving back to the community. One of our more popular conservation efforts is our wildlife rehabilitation centers, which rehabilitate captured wildlife and reintroduce them into the wild. Every visit to these centers will ensure that these animals do not go extinct, and also these centers continue to do their great work. Besides that, homestay. Another way to give back is by participating in a homestay program. Homestay in Malaysia is not like billeting in most other places. Homestay is a government-assisted program for the rural communities in Malaysia, and very, very popular, especially among students and universities. So when you partake of a homestay, you go in there, you eat like them, you dress like them, you become part of the family. Now, some people have even got married in a homestay. Now, if you get married in a homestay, the whole village gets together to prepare your wedding feast. And of course, the whole village attends because they're family. We used to get and in fact, I think they still do it. The University of New Brunswick has a group that goes to a homestay in Sabah, Malaysian Borneo annually. So, it's really a great way to immerse yourself into Malaysian culture. And finally, volunteerism. There are many volunteer opportunities in Malaysia, ranging from replanting of trees, save the turtles, replanting of coral, wildlife rehabilitation centers. In fact, a few years back when I went back to Malaysia for training, I was at the Sepilok Orangutan Rehabilitation Center, where I met this Canadian lady who used to volunteer her services in the Toronto Zoo. And she was volunteering her services there, and she had a baby orangutan in her arms, and she said she was having the best time of her life. It was like life-changing for her. Besides our conservation efforts, Malaysia will bring you some amazing resorts, everything from over-the-water village to 3-top cabins in the rainforest to resorts fashioned after ancient palaces. And I came across one that was designed to look exactly like a European village. You know, if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know that you were in Malaysia. The next few slides are all about over the water villas in Malaysia. We have tons of those. I'm just going to share a few with you because we have received many requests about, over the water villas in Malaysia. So here goes. The one you see in the picture is the Sipadan Kapalai Beach Resort. The next three is actually located off of the east coast of Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. Then there's the Sipadan Water Village Resort and the Mabul Water Bungalows. All these three off of the east coast of Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. Now we head to the peninsula. And this is the Lexus Hibiscus Resort in Port Dickson. It's on a beach called Port Dickson along the Straits of Malacca on the west coast of Peninsula Malaysia. The Lexus Hibiscus is, of course, a 5-star resort. It is in the Guinness Book of World Records for holding the highest number of swimming pools in one resort. They have 643 swimming pools because each and every villa you can see in the picture has its own swimming pool. And it's also in the Guinness Book of World Records for the highest number of water villas in one resort. They have 522 water villas. And I threw this in for good measure because look at it, it's absolutely gorgeous. This is the Ritz-Carlton Langkawi facing the beautiful Andaman Sea. Don't you just want to be there? Just crazy gorgeous. Now, many might not know, but wellness is big in Malaysia. We do not necessarily market Malaysian wellness to the masses, as we see wellness as an extremely niche a product appealing to primary wellness travelers who travel solely for wellness. That said, wellness facilities, retreats, and experiences are rampant throughout the country. In fact, Malaysia is listed as one of the top wellness tourism markets in the Asia-Pacific region. Wellness travelers in Malaysia look for experiences unique to Malaysia. For Malaysian wellness is very influenced by our multicultural and diverse populace and our natural landscapes, because wellness spans a much wider spectrum these days. It's so much more than just a day at the spa. I guess people want something more experiential, like going off the grid, finding some kind of escape, being one with nature, and Malaysia has been so blessed in that arena with our 130 million year old rainforest, our secluded islands and beaches. Many might not know, but Malaysia is also home to many religious and spiritual retreats. Now, even before the pandemic, people have been prioritizing not just their health and physical well-being, but also their spiritual and mental health and self-growth. The one you see in the picture is a spiritual retreat located in the heart of an ancient rainforest in the state of Pahang, Malaysia. It is called the Kechara Rainforest Retreat. And people go there, for healing, for detoxification, for mindful contemplation, total relaxation, and of course, all of these based on Buddhist teachings. Now, when I said, there are lots of religious and spiritual retreats, I was on my way up to Mount Kinabalu, well, not on foot, of course, look at me. I was actually driving up to a viewpoint to view Mount Kinabalu, and it was a 2-hour drive, and along the way, this is just a 2-hour drive, I came across more than 20 Catholic spiritual retreats along the way. So, spiritual retreats reflecting all the different cultures and all the different religions in Malaysia are rampant throughout the country. And I'd like to introduce you to Urutan Malaysia. Urutan Malaysia is actually Malaysia's signature massage, and it's just more than just massage. It also combines the traditional wellness practices like, herbs and herbal remedies of the different cultures in Malaysia, the Malays, the Chinese, the Indians, and the indigenous tribes of Malaysia. So Urutan Malaysia, check it out. When travel returns, people are going to want to make their trip worthwhile. They're going to want to, make memories and that they can treasure forever, and they'll want to get into things that are unique. So here are some unique experiences that you can get up to, like conquering Mount Kinabalu, the highest peak in Southeast Asia, and in so doing, You will conquer the highest via ferrata in the world. What is a via ferrata? It is a series of metal rungs, ladders, and suspension bridges that will help you scale the mountain. It's run by a company called Mountain Torque. They have two routes, one for established climbers and one they say a 10-year-old can do. So absolutely doable. The via ferrata at Mount Kinabalu is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the highest in the world. Or you can dive in one of the world's top dive spots in the way of Sipadan, located off of the east coast of Sabah, Malaysia, and Borneo, rated by dive professionals as the world's best in numerous dive categories. Or for the intrepid traveler in you, conquer the rugged terrain of the Mulu Pinnacles in Sarawak, Malaysia, and Borneo. And I've included this because this is so awesome. This is located in, and whilst it's not a natural phenomenon, you can see that, you know, it is amongst nature. And our structures are all built to respect Mother Nature and to respect what we've been blessed with. This is the Langkawi Sky Bridge. Langkawi is our archipelago of 99 islands located off of the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia. Now, this is the longest free span and curved bridge in the world. Okay, it's called the Langkawi Sky Bridge. To get up there, you need to take the cable car, or they call it the Langkawi Sky Cab. And from up there, the view of our archipelago of 99 islands, just breathtaking, simply breathtaking, with the lush rainforest, virgin rainforest right below you. For whimsical experience, check out Malaysia's Sky Mirror. Now, this is a natural phenomenon. It happens at Sasaran Beach, which is in Kuala Selangor, which is about 45 minutes or so out of Kuala Lumpur. It's a natural phenomenon that is best experienced twice monthly on the 1st and 15th of the lunar calendar. That is the first day of the new moon and full moon, respectively, when the tide is just right and the sandbar reveals itself at Sasaran Beach, creating this mirror-like surface, very much like the Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. Makes for some creative Instagram-worthy photography. For another whimsical experience, check out the Blue Tears of Tusan Beach, Miri, Sarawak, Malaysia, and Borneo. Same like the Sky Mirror, Blue Tears is also a natural phenomenon. It's caused by bioluminescent phytoplankton, which is washed up on the beach. And, you know, when the tides roll in and the waters disturb these phytoplanktons, they give off an eerie blue luminescent glow. And you can actually take a walk in these blue, blue tears and leave your luminescent footprints in them. And if you're into social media captions at all, you can say, hey, I left my luminescent footprints in the blue tears of Tusan Beach, Miri, Sarawak, Borneo. Now, if you cannot swim like me, and if you cannot dive like me, this experience is a must for you. It's the closest to diving you'll ever get. It's called sea walking. What they do is they put a 50-pound helmet that sits on your shoulders. You don't feel the weight in the water. Ladies, you'll be so pleased to know that your hair and makeup stays dry. So they lower you 15 feet onto the seabed and you interact with the marine life. It's a cool experience. They have a different variation, a more fancy version. Same thing with the helmet. It's called scuba doing. They put the helmet on you, you sit on a water scooter of sorts, and you skim the seabed and interact with the marine life. Really, really cool. Besides sea walking, why not try coral flying? It is the longest island-to-island zip line in the world. This 250 long zip line will zip you from Sapi Island to Gaia Island, both off of the northwest coast of Sabah, Malaysia, and Borneo. Imagine just, you know, flying across the Tunku Abdul Rahman Marine Park with unobstructed views of the South China Sea and the surrounding islands. And of course, you know, crystal clear water. Now, I'm sure some of you might have received some of our what we call our Malaysian SNP updates, and we last year sometime sent out a snip update on the coral flying in Malaysia. And one agent in the US actually came back to us and said, why do you call it coral flying? It's not accurate. Well, it is, because from up there, the water is so clear that you can actually see coral. So, you know, coral flying, definitely give it a try. For a more nostalgic experience, ride Malaysia's jungle train. Remember I told you the east-west connector train? Well, this is it. Now, the locals use it for transportation because it's really, really super affordable. But many travelers like to ride the jungle train for the experience. It is not a high-speed train, quite the opposite. It's about 10.5 hours. It's really, really slow, but it's a cool experience because this train meanders through our 130 million year-old rainforest from west to east. From the west to eastern side of the Malaysian peninsula. Really, really affordable. 10 to 15 Canadian will get you a good seat on the train. 15 Canadian actually gets you into first class. If you want to sleep through the entire experience, then you can get a berth, and that's the most expensive ticket for Canadian $40, and you can sleep through the entire trip, wake up at your destination. But many like to the experience because it's the scenic route, and you also get to mingle with the locals. I had a Canadian travel writer who actually went on the jungle train for the experience. She had a blast because, like, you know, she connected with a group of local ladies, Malaysian ladies, and they insisted that she come join them and you know, share with their home cooked meal with her, and that's what she did, and she had an amazing time. For more nostalgia, now you have to ride the North Borneo Railway steam locomotive. It's a half-day tour in a retro-style railway carriage pulled by a classic British-made Vulcan steam locomotive. Now, there are very few of these left in the world. This is located in Kota Kinabalu, Sabah, Malaysian Borneo. The cost is 112 Canadian, but it includes breakfast and a tiffin carrier lunch. What is a tiffin carrier? It is a tiered container. One will have your rice, the other will have your protein, another will have your vegetable, another will have your dessert. I think you get the idea. Last but not least, I'd like to tell you about Malaysia's amazing nightlife. Now, many people consider Malaysia a very conservative country, and to an extent that's true. But that does not mean that we do not know how to party. What you see in the picture is what they call a lifestyle complex, and there are many of these throughout Malaysia in the big cities. Now, the one in the picture is called TREC, T-R-E-C, and it stands for Taste, Relish, Experience, and Celebrate. What it is, and when I say it like that, simply put, it's a mall of various entertainment outlets. But you think like, why? Well, it has something for everyone. There are kid-friendly restaurants, you know, where the whole family can go and enjoy a meal. And then there's like you know, like a wine bar for a quiet couples night out. There's a jazz bar. There's an R&B club. There's you know, a country and western club. If you like funk and soul, there's a place for that as well. Top 40. There is also a disco. It's crazy. And if you want to go bar hopping and everything, hey, you don't have to go far. Just go to one complex and it is there. It's huge. And it's crazy. And every single one of these establishments have live music. In fact, the live music and entertainment scene is so vibrant in Malaysia, especially in Kuala Lumpur, that you find acts from all over the world. Many GRP artists from the US have actually come to Malaysia and settled down in Malaysia because, you know, we offer them the platform to do what they do best, and that is to create some crazy, wonderful music. And, you know, their art. There's an audience for that, and there's a platform for that. And now I'd like to share with you, we're so pleased to share with you our Book Now, Travel Later, Malaysia Awaits You initiative. We have partnered with some of Canada's top tour operators in the way of Canada One Travel, GOWAY Travel, SITA World Tours, and Royal Scenic Holidays. And they have come up with some amazing Malaysia package deals just for our Book Now, Travel Later, Malaysia Awaits You initiative. We'll kick off with Canada One Travel, and they have 3 BOGO deals, buy one, get one half off. Now they have 11 days, best of Peninsula Malaysia, starting from Canadian $23.80. a 10 days East Malaysia Sabah experience from Canadian 4510, and 11 days East Malaysia Sarawak experience from Canadian 2260. All these three are buy one, get one half off if booked by March 31st, 2021. Then we go to GOWAY Travel, and they have two amazing deals for us. The Malaysian Beach Escape, 45% off, starting from 25.58. It's a 12-day Kuala Lumpur and Langkawi. Langkawi, of course, is located off of the northwest coast of Peninsula Malaysia. You've seen this, throughout the presentation as well. And they also have like 11 days Essential Borneo, the wilds of Sabah and Sarawak, Malaysian Borneo. And it's also both a private guided tours. And for this one, they have a $450 savings if booked by March 31st, 2021. All these packages are valid throughout into 2022 as well. And then we go to Royal Scenic Holidays. They have two offerings, a 10-day Discover Malaysia and a 5-day Langkawi Malaysia. The first one is from 2350 and the second one is from Canadian 2040. Both packages are buy one, get one half off is booked by March 31st, and it's valid through into March 31st, 2022. Then there's SITA World Tours. They bring you 3 Malaysia specials, 12 days Malaysia in-depth at 48.05, 8 days Best of Malaysia at 34.95, and 9 days Splendors of Malaysia at 60.50. And these 3 packages have a $15 discount on all 3 if booked by March 31st, 2021. And now I'm so excited to be able to share with you our Book Now, Travel Later, Malaysia Awaits You contest, which goes live today, okay? It goes on for 6 weeks. The last date, I believe, is March 21st, 2021, where it ends. And 2 questions will be posted each week for 6 weeks. The answers to these questions can be found in today's webinar, as well as the 3 advertorials with Travel Week in January, February, and March. The first one came out on the 26th, and I'm sure it's archived with Travel Week. And the next 2 will come out at the end of February and at the end of March, respectively. And of course, you also have to check the partner e-blast, which will be coming out either this week or next week. Check their e-blast, go to the package pages. The details of their packages are there, and there are questions related to their packages as well, so check that out. The prizes are, the first prize is an Amazon e-gift card worth 1,000 Canadian. The second prize is an Amazon e-gift card worth 500 Canadian, and the third is an Amazon e-gift card worth 200 Canadian. So definitely participate in our contest. And now, of course, we have to address the elephant in the room, which is, the COVID update. How have we dealt with the COVID-19 thus far? Well, Malaysia is among the top 5 nations globally to have successfully contained COVID-19. And how did we do this? Well, first and foremost, good leadership. Malaysia's Director General of Health, Dr. Noor Hisham, has been hailed as one of the top 3 doctors in the world in his fight against COVID-19, along with the US's Dr. Anthony Fauci and New Zealand's Ashley Bloomfield. But good leadership alone is not enough. In true Malaysian spirit, the Malaysian people stood united, worked with the government, and stood together regardless of race and religion, and did whatever was necessary to flatten the curve. And last but not least, transparency, which has been paramount in Malaysia's fight against COVID-19. Malaysia has moved cautiously forward with domestic tourism in June, only after stringent standard operating procedures were implemented throughout the industry. But as we opened up our economy, our numbers started to climb again. I won't lie, Malaysia is currently in our 3rd wave of the pandemic, but we will deal with it the way we have dealt with it so far. Like when COVID started, Malaysia was actually one of the, we had the highest numbers in Southeast Asia, but we nipped it. The Malaysian government introduced a movement control order, and Malaysians really adhered to the rules and to the movement control orders put in place, and we brought those numbers down, and we will do it again. But you know, like I said, we are in our third wave, and the movement control order has been implemented once again. And in our quest for transparency, you can check out our website at malaysia.travel, www.malaysia.travel, and hit the COVID update link for exactly where we stand in the pandemic. And once it is absolutely safe to do so, we are looking at a travel bubble plan between the green zones of Malaysia and select destinations in the Asia Pacific region. But of course, we will continue to monitor the situation both in Malaysia as well as partner destinations, and will proceed cautiously like we have been doing, only if it is safe to do so, because safety is and always will be our #1 priority. And as we anticipate, some semblance of normalcy and the return of long-haul travel, please note that Malaysia is hoping to welcome international travelers by the second or third quarter of 2021. But rest assured that safety is always our #1 priority, and borders will only open when it is absolutely safe to do so. But until then, keep safe, keep healthy, be kind to one another, and know that Malaysia awaits you. Terima kasih. Please check out our website at www.malaysia.travel for brochures, for videos, for more information on Malaysia. You can also contact me, Sandra at tourism.gov.my. And also, please like us on Facebook. If now it's Q&A time. If you have any questions, please type it in the box, in the chat box.
Thank you, Sandra. Wow, that was a lot of information in 40 minutes. Yeah, Malaysia is an incredibly diverse place. And one of the things I was super impressed with is how you have all these different cultures living together in such harmony. And it's not like you have different areas where they all live. They're all living on the same street. So I found that really interesting.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, multiculturalism, a lot of countries will say that they are multicultural, but you'll see that the level of integration in Malaysia is so high. I mean, I grew up Catholic in a predominantly Muslim village, and
Wow.
there was never any question as to religion or race. We were all equal. We it was how many guppies we could catch at the stream, and I always won. So that mattered more than them going to the mosque on Friday, we going to church on Sunday, because we created traffic jams on different days of the week. So hey, it was all
yeah, it actually worked out. Okay, can I just remind agents, if you have any questions, to actually put the questions in the chat box and we'll go through them. We don't have any questions yet, so
you
if
can
anyone
also
does have
email
any
me your questions at sandra@tourism.gov.my, and we'll be happy to help.
Maybe I can ask a question. If a travel agent is sending clients to Malaysia, how much time would give them a taste of the mainland and a taste of Borneo as well? Would they need 2 weeks? Would they need 3 weeks? Would they need 10 days?
Well, of course, the longer the better, but I would say about 12 to 14 days would be good. I mean, Malaysia is a very small country. Peninsula Malaysia is about the size of Vancouver Island, so twice of that. And like I mentioned before, we fit in 30 times into Canada. So we're a small country, but there's so much to do and see. And if you really want to experience the country and have a good taste of what is Malaysia as a destination, I would say about between 12 to 14 days.
And would you be flying, or would you be taking some kind of ferry over to Borneo?
You will have to fly.
You have to fly, okay.
Domestic flights are so affordable. And of course, we have our budget carriers, like I'm sure everybody has heard of Air Asia. I mean, flights are as low as 10, 20 Canadian, sometimes even cheaper. I mean, can you imagine a flight for $20? So definitely look at flying. Why travel any other way? Don't waste time, unless of course it's like the jungle train where you want to ride it for the experience.
Yeah, every other region in the world has their low-cost carriers except for us. Okay, I'm going to give everyone a final chance to ask a question to Sandra. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up here today. Oh, I have one question here. This is from Martin. He's asking, what is the ideal length of time for a homestay visit?
Homestay visit. Okay. Now, homestay, it depends on your comfort level. If you go into the villages and like there are different villages throughout the country, you can go for a day. You can go for a 3-day, 2-night. That is the most popular one, the 3-day, 2-night visit. But like I said, the students actually spend like a whole week, sometimes even longer in a homestay, and get right into the activities of the homestay village. Like, you know, if they if their trade is like the paddy fields, then they'll teach you how to like you know, work in the paddy fields. Or if they work in the rubber plantation, you'll do that. The best one, of course, is like, you know, if they have like the fruit orchards and you get to enjoy all the local fruit. And many of these, you know, there are some homestays also by the beach. So, hey, you know, local experience, plus you get to be by the beach. So there you go.
Awesome. Okay, we have a few more questions rolling in. This is great. We have a question from Donna. I think you might have already answered this, but how widely is English spoken, and can you drink the tap water?
How widely is English spoken, and
can you drink the tap water?
We always, the tap water is clean, but we always recommend that people buy bottled water. And usually your hotels will provide you bottled water like 2 a day, and it's free. So, you know, there you go. And like English, when I say English is spoken widely, like I grew up speaking English. Many people, for many Malaysians, English is their first language, but it is at least a second or a third language throughout Malaysia, because like I said, it's compulsory in all national schools. So it's a compulsory subject. So really everybody has learned English in school and will speak it. And it is the norm where you go, when you go to hotels, you know, everywhere you go, retail, you know, you go shopping, people will speak to you in English or Malay.
Okay, this is a question from Lydia. She wants to know what time of year is the best time to go in regards to weather, and do you have to avoid monsoon season?
The monsoon season. Well, monsoon sounds really scary, but it's actually heavy rain, right? And the monsoon season runs from mid-November through mid-February. But like I said, it affects the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia as well as the east coast of Borneo, Malaysia. So the other parts, like the west coast of Peninsular Malaysia and the west coast of Borneo, is still good. So all year round, but if you're looking at like cooler weather, it would be our spring. It's cooler. And of course, our summer, it gets really hot in Malaysia. You know, I wouldn't say drought either, because we are a tropical country and it rains in the afternoons. And you're almost thankful for the rain, because when it rains, it's not cold. It actually cools everything down and it clears the air. And so, you know, you're thankful for the rain. And when it rains, it pours. It's like really, really huge showers. And then like 2 hours, it's over. And I want to address the monsoon season as well. Like, you know, I had people come in fact, this is quite often, like people come into the office wanting to travel during the monsoon season. And I said, you do realize this is the rainy season? And they go, yeah. We head to the East Coast, the areas most affected by the monsoon season. And I said, why? Well, number one, they have the resorts to themselves. Number two, like I said, it doesn't rain like continuously. You will have heavy rain for a few hours and then it's over. Now, many of the resorts on the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia during the monsoon season will give you a guarantee. They say, like, you know, if it rains nonstop for 3 days, we will give you a 4th day free. It rarely ever happens. You know, I've lived on the East Coast for a while during the rainy season. And yeah, I've enjoyed the beach. The beach is also, you have the beach to yourself as well, because like, you know, it's a rainy season. And it doesn't rain, like I said, continuously. It won't rain continuously all day long.
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you. Ruth would like to know, how do you reach Mulu National Park, and is there accommodation in the park?
Yes, there is. Yeah, there are several accommodations in the park, and if you contact me, I can give you a list. And you reach Mulu by road. You have to fly into the capital, Kuching, and then you go by road. It's only by road.
Okay. And back to the COVID subject, what papers do you need to arrive at the airport, if
Right
any?
now, borders are not open. So in terms of papers, no, there are no, stipulations as yet because borders are not open to non-essential
Mhm.
travel. Like I said, we always move cautiously. We will only open when it is safe to do so. So even for essential travel, they have to have all their papers in order in terms of like their work permits or whatever business they have in Malaysia. And there are no exceptions to the rule. Everybody has to quarantine.
Mhm.
And when I say no exceptions, some people make exceptions for people with diplomatic status. No, in Malaysia, there are no exceptions. My consul general had to go back to Malaysia on an official trip, and he was subject to a 14-day quarantine. That said, many of the five-star hotels are open for quarantine, and they're charging like a fifth of the price for
Mhm.
quarantine. So, they're making it easier for people to quarantine. But again, borders are not yet open.
Have you been closed this whole entire time since last March, or did you open up and then close again for
I know
tourism?
we have
It's
not
been
opened our borders as yet.
okay. Okay, another question is how handicap accessible is Malaysia?
It is very handicap accessible. Everywhere you go, the parks and all our tourist attractions, you will have like wheelchair ramps and that kind of thing. It is very, very accessible and handicap friendly.
Okay, and final question, which may or may not be related to tourism, but does Malaysia still have a monarchy?
Malaysia still have it?
Monarchy.
Yes, we do. We're very much like the UK, like England. Yeah, we have a monarchy, but like it's the country though is run by the parliament.
Hmm. So do you
Constitution
have
of monarchy.
tourism around the monarchy? Can you go see the palace and changing of the
Yes,
guard?
but you can't actually go inside. There's a palace tour in Kuala Lumpur, much like in England. You go there and you can see the changing of the guards, that kind of thing.
Okay. Okay, well, thank you to all the agents for being here today. I hope this inspired you to
I think
send
I
your
see one more
clients.
question.
Oh, one more question?
How are the insects, mosquitoes, etc.? Well, it is a tropical country. So you will have mosquitoes and you'll have insects. I mean, I always say like, the birds and everything are like larger in Canada. And when you go to Malaysia, you'll see the crows and say, oh my God, they're tiny. But the insects, we win on insects. Our bugs are bigger. But um, a good bug spray will do the trick. I mean, like some people like to get inoculated with malaria, jab or like or malaria pills. But like for me, when I go back, I make sure I have a good bug spray. Even when I'm going to the beach, depending on where you are, going to the beach or going to the rainforest, just make sure you have a good bug spray. That's good enough.
Can you just repeat all of your contact information for everyone?
Yes, it's Sandra at tourism.gov.my. Sandra at tourism.gov.my.
Okay, and do you have any final words of advice or inspiration to all the travel agents out there?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much. Canadian travel agents have been great. I know I've worked with several of you on various initiatives. You guys have been so wonderful about keeping travel alive. And if you need me to do anything, do a presentation for you or for your clients, we are here. We can do it anytime you want. On our platform, on yours, I worked with two travel agents so far, one in Calgary and one in Edmonton. I believe Travel Chicks in Calgary and Paul Travel in Edmonton. And they have our presentations on their websites. And so, just to keep travel alive, right? And to engage people and to engage your clients. So anytime at all, if you have a group that needs, a presentation or something like that, let's do it. Let's have some fun. Let's give out some prizes and
Hmm.
just so we can keep travel alive.
Okay, thank you everyone. We're going to pull 4 winners of the Amazon gift cards and we'll be emailing the winners. So thank you all so much for being here today. Thank you, Sandra. That was a wonderful presentation. So much detail, so much information. And it's important during these times to keep educating yourself because travel will come back and we'll be able to go to Malaysia one day. So we all look forward to when that day will come. Thank you so much, Sandra.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.